So hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm nCoachingcentre. So today I'm going to explain your 11th standard biology chapter 17, that is breathing and exchange of gases. So let's come to the chapter breathing and exchange of gases. So definition first, my definition of vital capacity and what is its significance they can ask for your final exam. So vital capacity is the maximum volume of air that can be exhaled after a maximum inspiration. It is about 3.5 to 4.5 liters in a human body, and it promotes the act of supply fresh air and getting rid of foul air or the bad air, and thereby increasing the gaseous exchange between the tissues and the environment. So this is about the vital capacity and its significance. Next is state the volume air remaining in the lungs after the normal breathing. So the volume air remaining in the lungs after the volume air remaining in the lungs after the normal expiration is known as the functional residual capacity, that is FRC, and it includes the expiratory reserve volume, that is ERV, and residual volume RV and ERV, maximum volume of air that can be exhaled after the normal expiration. So it is about 1000 milliliters to 1500 milliliter, and RV is the volume of air remaining in the lungs after maximum expiration. It is about 1100 to 1500 milliliter. So therefore FRC is equal to ERV plus RV, so therefore 3000 milliliter. 2500 is to 3000 functional residual capacity of the human lungs. It is. Next is diffusion of gases occurs in alveolar region only and not in the other parts of respiratory system. Why? So each alveoli is made up of highly permeable and thin layer of squamous epithelium cells, and similarly the blood capillaries have the layers of squamous epithelium cells, and oxygen rich air enters to the body through the nose and reaches to the alveoli, and deoxygenated blood from the body is brought to the heart by the veins, and the heart pumps it to the lungs of oxygenation, and the exchange of water and CO2 takes place between the blood capillaries surrounding the alveoli and the gases present in the alveoli. So this is why the diffusion of gases occurs in the alveolar region, not only in the other, and also still it is there, and also thus the alveoli are the sites for gaseous exchange, and the exchange of gases takes place in a simple diffusion because of pressure or concentrative differences. The barriers between the alveoli and the capillaries is the thin, and the diffusion of gases takes place from higher partial pressure to the lower partial pressure. Hence the oxygen diffuses into the blood, and simultaneously carbon dioxide diffuses out of the blood into the alveoli. Next is, what are the major transportation mechanisms of CO2? So through plasma. So about 7% of CO2 is carried dissolved state through plasma, and through RBC is 20 to 25% of CO2 is transported by the red blood cells to the carbaminohemoglobin, and through sodium bicarbonate 70% of carbon dioxide is transported as sodium bicarbonate. As CO2 diffuses into the blood plasma, a large part of it combines with water to form the carbonic acid in the presence of the enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Next is, what will be the PO2 and PCO2 in the atmosphere air compared to those of in the alveolar air. So PO2 is higher and PCO is higher. So oxygen is higher. So the partial pressure of oxygen is higher higher than that oxygen in the alveolar air, and in atmosphere air PO is about 159 milli, and alveolar air is about 104 mm, right. So let us know about the process of inspiration under normal conditions. So inspiration or inhalation is the process of bringing air from outside the body into the lungs, and it is carried out by creating a pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. When air enters the lungs, the diaphragm contracts towards the abnormal cavity. Abnormal cavity contracts the diaphragm like this. So and it contracts like this. Downwards it goes. Here they are showing no by a remark like this it will go. And then the volume of the thoracic chamber in the antero posterior axis increases with the simultaneous contraction of the external intercostal muscle, and this causes the ribs and the sternum to move out, and thereby increasing the volume of the thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis. The overall increase in the thoracic volume leads to the similar increase in the pulmonary volume, and now it results out of the result of this increase the pulmonary pressure becomes lesser than the atmosphere pressure, and this causes the air from outside the body to move into the lungs. So like this the inspiration happen. Next, the respiration regulates. How the respiration regulates is respiration rhythm center present in the medulla region of the brain is primarily responsible for the regulation of respiration, and pneumatic center can alter the function performed by the respiratory rhythm center by signaling the reduced respiration rate, and the chemosensitive region present near the respiratory center is sensitive to carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions, and this region then then signals the change the rate of expiration for eliminating the compound, and the respirator present in the carotid artery and aorta detect the levels of the carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions in the blood. As the levels of carbon dioxide increase, the respiration center sends the nerve impulse for the message of charge. Next is, what is the effect of PCO2 on oxygen transport? So PCO2 plays an important role in the transportation of oxygen at the alveoli, as the low PCO2 and high PO2 favors the formation of hemoglobin at the tissue. The high PCO2 and low PO favors the discolation of oxygen of hemoglobin. Hence, the affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen is enhanced by the decrease of PCO2 in the blood, and therefore oxygen is transported in blood as oxyhemoglobin, and oxygen dissociates from its tissue it goes. Next is, what happens to the respiratory process in a man going up a hill. So as altitude increases, the oxygen level in the atmosphere decreases, and therefore as a man goes uphill, he gets have oxygen with the oxygen less oxygen with by each breath. This causes the amount of oxygen in the blood of decline, and the respiratory rate increase the response to the decrease of the oxygen content of blood, and simultaneously the rate of heartbeat increases to increase the supply of oxygen to the blood. So okay friends, till here it is enough. So I will explain the other topics, breathing and exchange of gases, in my next video. So till here you understand the thing. So okay friends, like, rate, comment on my video, subscribe my channel, nCoachingcentre for more video. I will see in my next video explaining the other topics of this chapter. So okay friends, nice to take care of you in my next video. Till then, take care, have a nice day, bye my dear.